Let me show you how easy it is to make delicious mashed potatoes and brown gravy. So I'm going to start off by peeling 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds of russet potatoes. And the ones that I'm making are the Boursin cheese mashed potatoes. Very simple to make and they're very creamy and rich. Okay, so you're going to want to boil your potatoes. I'm adding a bit of salt. And I'm working with about 1.5 pounds of russet potatoes that I peeled and chopped. You'll bring it up to a boil and cook until tender, fork tender. I'm going to shut off the heat, and then you'll want to add your cheese. And once you add the cheese, you're just going to mash it along with the potatoes, give it a taste, season, and salt to your preference. And you honestly don't have to use the Boursin cheese. Heavy cream, half and half, butter, salt, and pepper also make for the best mashed potatoes. Very simple and classic. It just depends on what you're making and the flavor profiles that you prefer with your mashed potatoes. Here's an easier way. Another way to make mashed potatoes, a lot of you might not like this, quite honestly. I get it. If you are making tons of things, instant mashed potatoes might be the answer to make your dinner easier. I like instant mashed potatoes every now and again. Some people absolutely don't, but for those of you that like it, this is how I do it. So this calls for 2 cups of boiling water. I like to do 1 cup water, 1 cup milk. So let's do that. So we have a hot water dispenser. That'll do. Okay, so this goes in a pot, 1 cup hot water. And here I'm going to pour 1 cup milk. That goes also in the pot. Turn that on, like a medium-low heat. You don't want to scald the milk. So everything in the pot, you're going to bring it up to like a simmer, rolling boil. And if you like to add extra seasoning and spices into this, you can. Honestly, I think this has enough sodium in it, so I like to add this first and then add what it needs after. So bring that up to a boil. I'm going to cover that with a lid. Another thing I like to add is butter. So I'm going to add like a tablespoon in the mix. This is already it boiled over. So let that go in there and melt. I have it on low. Okay, I'm going to shake in the potatoes. Oops, my oven. And now just give that a mix. I know it looks like it's going to be soup, but give it a chance to hydrate and it'll thicken. I can shut this off at this point. And then mix that. That's it. And then as it sets here, you want to make sure you get every clump out. If you whisk it, it might work better, but I used a spoon. Okay, so let me show you an easy gravy, an easy brown gravy for your holiday meal, whether it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, or just a regular day. So I like to use chicken broth when it's for Thanksgiving or Christmas because we either have turkey or poultry. But if you're making a brown gravy and let's say you have meatloaf, then use beef broth. But for today, I'm using the chicken broth. And if you have turkey stock, well, obviously use that. But for today, I'm just going to use this can. Okay, here I have my heat on, like a low, medium heat, and I have the rest of this butter. I'll say this is 3 tablespoons. I'm going to melt that down. Okay, once it's melted, I'm going to shake in. This is like a 1/4 cup, 4 tablespoons of flour. And we're just going to create the roux. And I'm going to cook this for several minutes. So the key here is if you want thickening, like a roux that's going to really thicken whatever it is you're making, then you want it sort of pale and blonde. Cook it for like maybe a minute. The darker you cook it, it will add like a rich nutty flavor and a darker color to the gravy. So it's really up to you. I don't know, I'm gonna eyeball it. I'm gonna let it go for about a minute or 2 and see what we end up with. Okay, so this has gone from like a pale color. It's starting to get like a light browned color, kind of blonde still. So I think this is okay for me. But like I said, if you want really deep, rich color, you can go a little bit longer. But I'll show you the trick to get a nice brown, deep color to your gravy. Okay, so next, here I'm gonna add my chicken broth first. I wanna crank up the heat just a little bit. And I have a can of chicken broth going in. Pour that in. And then whisk, bring it all together. And then you're gonna let it simmer and it should thicken, but just make sure you continue whisking and get all of that roux incorporated with the broth. And this would be a great time if you're cooking your Thanksgiving dinner, if you have your turkey stock or broth on hand. You're gonna need like, that can is 14 ounces. I think for this, 12 to 14 ounces, or that would be like a cup and a half to a cup, 1 3/4 cup of broth ready for this. Okay, so this is incorporated, but it has to come up to a simmer to thicken. But I like to add accent. This is essentially MSG. You don't have to do that. Salt, pepper to your taste, but I like to add a little bit of accent. And in my opinion, that can of Swanson's chicken broth already has sodium in it, so I'm not gonna add too much more. And then I think one more thing, cracked black pepper, yeah. Got the pepper. And here's the trick to getting it a deeper color, other than making the roux darker, which you totally can do, but is to add just a little bit of Kitchen Bouquet. Can you see that? Yeah. And I'm just gonna add a smidge, just like less than 1/4 teaspoon, and mix that in. And it gives it that color. It does add a little bit of flavor, but mainly it's to color your gravy, to get it that brown. A little bit more. There we go. So it's starting to thicken, which is great. And it's the perfect consistency. So all you need to do is, like I said, taste for salt, seasoning, adjust to your preference, let it thicken, and it's done. Okay, so it has thickened, and this is the brown gravy. And it's delicious, and it's not really that hard. Like I said, season and taste to your preference. You can add all types of herbs, use your turkey stock or turkey broth, and you have a really good gravy to go with your meal. Now you pour it into your gravy boat. Whether it's for your holiday meal or just a weeknight dinner, this is a very easy way to make brown gravy, whether you're using chicken broth or beef broth. It's so good. I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching.